Hello and welcome to Bendy, a podcast about being flexible in all of the ways that means. Thanks for joining us. My name is Andy Young and I'm one of your drowsy, languid hosts. Joining me as always is our other drowsy and languid host, Beth Martin. Beth, a pleasure as always.
Oh, Andy, it's such a pleasure. I'm so drowsy today
Yeah, me too. Hey,
and languid and lethargic.
I mean, it's a day that ends in a Y, so we're bound. Every day is a drowsy day in
Every
Andy's
day's
house.
a drowsy
Oh, I need to
day. Is
copyright
it the
this
time?
immediately.
I know. I can help you with that.
Okay,
Is
perfect.
it the time of year or is it just life in general makes us sleepy?
Uh yeah, I mean a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. I think all of the above for sure. Yeah, it's yeah, but I think that specifically this time of year it gets dark, especially over here, it's getting darker earlier and it's just, it's sleepy time. It's
What
time to
time?
be in your
What
bed.
time? What time does the sun go down?
Like at the minute about
Uh-huh.
4:30 or so.
So Mike is home. I'm already like, well, let's just talk crack.
Let's get
Mike's
into it.
home and he was telling me this story about how he was sitting in a boardroom with his boss and his boss was like, why, like, what's going on? Like, it's getting dark in here all of a sudden. Like, did the light shift?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh no, it's 2:30 and the sun's going down.
What in where you are right now, the sun's
And
going down?
no, he was in Portland.
Oh, Portland. Oh,
So
wow. That's
yeah.
intense. Shit.
Uh-huh. Like by
Wow.
4:30, usually it's like,
That's
yeah, it's
crazy.
mhm,
I mean, we
mhm.
get these as a result, these like awesome like sunsets and stuff like that. The sky's so colorful, like
So
these
nice.
orangey sort of like even like these even rich blues sometimes. It's really lovely.
Yeah,
So
we get that here more. Like
yeah.
if there are clouds in the sky, which
Oh.
I'm such a bitch. We never get clouds.
I think
Just sun.
we have
Sun,
your
sun, sun.
we have your clouds too. We have everybody's clouds.
You do, you do.
So cloudy.
Uh yeah, you're welcome. But
Thank
there are
you.
some today and
Well,
but I know
well,
it's
well.
gonna be a beautiful, I know, well. Patchy clouds,
Yeah.
Andy.
Okay. Ugh,
Patchy.
fine.
Can I tell you
Of
something?
course.
So I watched the movie Gran Turismo last night.
Oh, interesting. How was it?
I fucking loved it.
I hear it's
I
good.
loved it. It's so good. I didn't know any, like I knew nothing. I know, right, I know about the game.
Sure.
But I didn't know like the story behind this, like that it's based on a true story.
Yeah.
This actually happened
Yeah.
to, and I didn't know that Gran Turismo was like actually like a simulation and
Yes.
not like a video game. I don't think I've ever played it myself, or
Yeah,
if
it's
I have it,
fine. It's not my thing, but like I have played it, but simulation games are just, yeah, not interesting to me.
right. But the story and just like the story, the way that this kid who liked video games and wanted to be a race car driver but couldn't actually afford it. And
Yes.
then I don't know how you pronounce it. We pronounce it Nissan.
Yeah. I think we do that
Nissan,
too. Listen.
Nissan,
Nissan.
Nissan,
Yeah.
Nissan. But just the fact that they were like, let's try this out. And then granted, they were like, well, we've got 90,000 people that are playing the game and like
Yeah.
we can interest them in like a Nissan car. That'd be like it was a big marketing ploy, not ploy, marketing concept that worked really well because this kid is now like he's had like 200 races. He's like the top
Wow.
50 race car drivers like ever. And he's
It's
just so sweet. So
that's nice.
I followed him on Instagram.
Okay. I mean
And
like
it's so good. I highly recommend it.
okay.
It gave me a lot of, I'm not skipping to joy, but it made me happy.
Okay, okay.
Hmm.
Because I remember seeing the trailer and thinking this is not for me, and I didn't like the look of the trailer, but I they had some actors that I quite liked, and
Hmm.
the
You're like
director
Legolas.
exactly Legolas and David Harbour as well, the
I
Stranger
love
Things
David
guy. He's
Harbour, and
awesome.
he was great. He's
Yeah,
always, yeah, he was good.
he's reliably great. And but then I found out like way later after seeing the trailer that it was like Neil Blomkamp who has made some great movies, some iffy movies, but like he's tends to be pretty visually interesting. So I was like, maybe this would be worth a look, but I haven't
Well,
got around to it.
So it's interesting too, because in America, we're all about NASCAR.
Yes.
And I was like, what kind of racing is this? This is insane. They're going like 380 kilometers
Yeah.
in the driving in the rain for like a 24-hour race where they're like switching drivers out and they're going for 24 hours. I'm like, that would never happen here.
Oh, is that Le
Like,
Mans?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
I didn't even know what that was until
Yeah.
last night. So now I'm hip
Um,
to it. I'm like, oh, yes, it is.
and you're like, oh, Le
That course
Mans.
is insane.
This year's Le Mans was so fascinating.
But it's
Uh,
like it's crazy because NASCAR, like there's a formula, your
yeah.
car has to be to these specifications. Although, like, I don't know what kind of racing it is. It's like GT or like I don't even know.
I couldn't
Sorry,
tell you for Le
listeners. I
Mans.
just
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a baby race car lover.
There'll be
So
some car heads screaming at us right
there
now.
will be. How could she not know that? But like here, like if it rains, they stop the race.
Yeah. No, not over
And
there.
like, no, it's
It's
crazy dangerous.
we have they do the same thing. There's a lot of like motorbike racing in Northern Ireland in particular,
Oh,
and
yeah,
they don't stop. And it rains here a lot, and
yeah.
like we have tons of people end up dead as a result of motorbike racing, as you can imagine. Um, to the extent that like some of the big fixtures have stopped happening or they're in danger of not. There's one called the Northwest, which is a really big deal in Northern Ireland, and they just didn't think they were going to get the insurance for it because insurance keeps going up and up because, as I say, the amount of people that get seriously injured or die. It's scary.
Who's the insurance company that will back anybody? Like
Oh yeah,
Lords of London.
yeah, I think that is it because
I
like
think that
they back up Jackie
yeah.
Chan's body and things like that.
And like I think Burning Man too.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh
probably
really?
wrong, but like no one will insure them. Are you kidding?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow.
So yeah. So
Um,
that's my crack. And I'm in packing hell.
yeah, I'll bet.
So we're
Oh,
leaving.
oh, sympathy for Beth, everyone.
I
She's going
know,
on her
boo-hoo, I'm
holiday.
going leaving the country for 3 weeks. I
Oh,
have
I'm
to
so
pack.
sad.
Wah.
Um,
What's the crack with you?
the crack with me is because we've been talking about it. My choir had their concert last week. It
Hey,
went very well.
congratulations.
It was really fantastic and really good
I'm
feedback.
proud of you guys. Like
Thank
for
you.
reals, you did
I know.
something really big.
It really is, and it's kind of one of these things whenever you step back from it and you're like, wow, okay, okay. I mean, considering it was only a conversation about 7 months ago and how far we've come, and actually put something on stage and it to be quite successful and great feedback from the choir, great feedback from the audience is pretty fantastic. So, you know, but like so like I in classic Andy style, I did what like about 12 weeks of work and I got like about 2, maybe 3 hours of feeling pretty good about myself. And then then just back to my regular shit, but totally worth it. I'm really happy with how it went and like as I say, so many kind words as well from people as well. So it was pretty fantastic.
That's so creating something out of nothing is one of
Yeah,
my favorite things to do.
yeah. Very satisfying.
And and just you and I both when at some point I think this is a podcast topic, but we've both done theater, we've both done
Yeah.
improv, I've done choral work, and it's so just like it's the best feeling being on
Yes.
stage, and like the feeling between you and the audience
Yes.
is like you feed off each other and you feed off each other's energy in like a non-succubus kind of way.
Yeah.
But then there's
Well,
the post like event crash depression.
yes.
That's so fun.
I think
Yay.
I think I definitely want to start doing more of it. It's one of the things I think I kind of wish I had done more earlier, but that's kind of the direction I want to move in. So let's see what happens. But that was great. I then immediately went down to see some friends down in Enniskillen, which is here's a sentence that's going to confuse a lot of people in the south of Northern Ireland,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
right?
I've been looking
uh,
at some maps.
nice. So their house is on.
There's definitely a border.
There is definitely a border. There is definitely a border. And their house is actually on a lock and it's
Oh,
really beautiful. And like they have like a decent chunk of land and are planning to, I think they both are they make good money, but they're hoping to like any job that pays good money tends to be quite stressful. So the plan is to use this land to create like, pods and stuff like that for people. So it was really lovely to be down there.
So a
Um,
cult.
that cult, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yay!
They're building these like 10-foot high fences, and they've got like
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
sniper towers and stuff like
Perfect, perfect.
that.
And is there a leader?
Well, I mean, they're courting me
Yeah, I
but
knew it.
like
I knew it. I know it. You're
I
like, but I'm busy
have,
with my choir.
yeah, that's why I'm growing my hair out and growing my beard out. Uh, um, but it was lovely, and it was good. They have a son who, like, it's funny because I see them maybe every 6 months or so, and he's now 4. So every time I see him developmentally, he is like so far on, and like he's having full conversations with me about Star Wars and things like that, and he's like telling me about Star Wars and stuff, and I'm like, oh wow, okay.
Like, did you know?
Did you know? So this guy's called Jabba the Hutt. He is okay, cool.
Uh-huh.
No, that's
Uh-huh.
awesome. Thank you. What
Actually,
else?
I'm wearing, you can't tell, but I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt right
Oh yeah,
now.
I can see that. I can see the A wing and a bit of a
Yeah,
B wing.
yep. Yep, yep. A-wing and a B-wing. And I actually have an advent calendar. That's the Star Wars advent calendar.
Mm. I had been
Mm-hmm.
doing like the Lego kind of Star Wars advent calendars for a while, but I
Mm-hmm.
was just like,
Mm-hmm.
no. And it's just because I have so much rubbish in my house already. I just don't need those. And also the other alternative is chocolate advent calendars, which I don't need an extra piece of chocolate every day. I get plenty, I get plenty of chocolate without the extra piece. Thank you very much.
They have for like the dad, it's all marketed towards like the dads in your life. You can get them like whiskey advent calendars where there's like a
Yeah,
different whiskey of that, but it's like how much? It's a lot.
we had
Or not
like
enough. I don't know.
we had quite a few years ago a cheese one in this was like the place.
Oh,
Yeah, but it was kind of disappointing because there was only like 5 types of cheese that cycled through. It was a wee bit disappointing, but that was a nice idea. You could get like tea ones and stuff like that, which is a very, very British thing to do, is a
I'm
different
like,
type of
that
tea
would
every day.
never, never happen here.
Just holding your teacup with one finger and your thumb.
Pinkies up.
Pinky's up. So, Beth, the
Yes.
other question I need to ask you, of course, is what's occurring?
What's occurring? So, I just want to thank you to all the people that are following us on YouTube. You guys are getting
Yeah,
I don't, all these things didn't matter to me before, but now I'm like, ooh, look at all these people. Look at this one video
you
of us,
rock. Yeah.
yeah, talking about sharks or poop or whatever. So yeah, thank you. And then I like, I Googled us just to see like, okay, where are we in the rankings? And like, we're on the, like, if I Google Bendy the podcast, like we're number one.
Nice.
But there's a there's like a site called Podcast Addict for
Yes.
people that, and someone left us a review
Hmm.
that said, it feels like a return to my favorite podcast formats, two friends chatting. I will continue to listen to this
Hell yeah.
podcast.
That's
So I was
awesome.
like, they're getting it. Like
Yeah.
we're doing that because that's what we're doing.
Yeah, it is
That
exactly.
made need to be our tagline. Thank you, person.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, I mean, and it is why I feel like when I talk to people about other podcasts, they are latching on to themes, whereas it very much for me is about the personalities of the people. I mean,
Mhm.
one of my favorite podcasts is about American fast food, and like the vast majority of that I will never get to taste, or even encounter. But I love
Or,
the
but I
relationship.
can,
Yeah, you
and then I
can.
can
Yeah.
take photos, and then you can cry.
Please don't do that. How rude.
It's fine. Everything has gluten in it, and I can't do the gluten, so I can't
Yeah,
eat
that's a
anything.
good
It's
point. Yeah,
fine. I'm going
lean.
to, yeah, I'm going to the land of croissants right now, and I can't eat any of it.
Oh,
I
that's
can't have a
awful.
baguette. I can't have a baguette.
You just have
I
to
can
get
hit somebody over the head with one, but I can't actually
nice.
eat it.
Will you
So,
wait till they're a bit stale and then you can really get
yeah,
do some damage? Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Um, I actually have, and my friend gave me some an update of what's occurring update.
Okay,
But he sent it to me in a voicemail, which is terrible in terms of me. So this is going to be an Andy translation of this because we were
okay,
talking about Easter eggs in a previous episode, and we were talking
yeah.
about where they originated from. It seems like they originated from lots of different types of the world, lots of different places in the world, from different traditions and things like that. but in Ireland, they were essentially it was to do with kind of for a long time, Ireland was occupied by the UK, and there was landlords that owned big parcels of land. They controlled the populace there, and over Lent they couldn't have eggs, so they would kind of, hand the eggs over to the poor peasants. I think after the season was over, so sometimes the eggs we build in they're being quite bad shape, and that's
Like
where the kind
here's
of
some rotten eggs.
yeah, I mean they're like sort of like they might be fine. It's fine, but
Yeah.
this is as good as you're getting.
Can
And
I ask a really unrelated question but
yeah,
related? Do you guys refrigerate your eggs? Have I asked you this?
no, we don't.
Okay, we
I
do.
don't certainly. I don't. I speak from me and from other people I know that we don't refrigerate them. No.
Mhm.
So that's it. Now I'm certain I've got some of it wrong, and I'll be shouted at. But hey, that's part of the fun, right?
It is. Well, and I think there's like fertility in there,
Yes,
right? And something about, did you listen to the Jim Gaffigan uh
his recent one.
skit about, no, about Easter? And like
I don't think so.
it's so funny.
Okay,
Yeah, it's so funny. And basically like yeah, it's worth listening to. I'll find it for you and like put
please
it
do.
up because it's so funny. And he's like, it's basically him trying to explain why they're Easter eggs. I don't know. The bunny lays them, put them the Easter eggs. Like it makes no sense. So
He's great.
that is fascinating. And thank you to your friend for sending that in.
Yeah, but a
So there
reminder
you
to
go,
him
world.
to send them to me as a text message, please. Next time, please.
I had a friend send a Marco Polo, which is yeah, a version of not a text
Yeah,
either.
yeah,
But she said that she loves listening to us. Like she's like, you guys are in my kitchen. Like I
nice.
listen, she's caught up on all the episodes. So like I haven't actually talked to her. She probably knows more about my life right now than I've told her just because she's listening to the podcast,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
makes me feel like a really bad friend. But she's been my friend since fifth grade, so like primary school. And she just said she's like, my favorite part is listening to you laugh. So
Nice.
that made me happy. I was like, I assumed it's annoying to everyone. I can't help it that I'm a whelper when I laugh, but
I mean, yeah, I think we both have loud laughing exclamation, but that's nice as well, and they're
I
genuine,
kind of, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's laughing hour, so fuck
Yeah,
everyone. We're gonna laugh.
exactly.
It's gonna happen.
And
So
Beth, I'm
thank you.
thinking,
Yeah, thank you, Karen. I love you.
that's going to be the reality, going forwards as we become mega stars anyway, that we're not going to have as much time for everybody, So
It's
this is
true.
how this is how they're going to have to
We'll
interact
have
with
our
us.
people call
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah. My assistant's assistant will get back to you.
Right. I'll hire them an assistant so our
Yeah,
assistants can
exactly.
talk.
Yeah, I guess I've got a spare 100K in my pocket somewhere.
Right. Oh, it's
Uh,
a bookmark.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the,
Ah, yeah.
oh,
So
dear.
so good things. So do you want to dive into our topic this week?
Yes. So, our topic this week is about sleep, and the title of this podcast is "We So
We so
Sleepy."
sleepy.
We so
We so
sleepy.
sleepy.
Beth and Andy so sleepy.
So sleepy. Always so sleepy.
I
I
mean, like we
think
both are, and
we are. We bonded on this like
yeah,
early, like we talk about this all, we've been talking about this for years.
it's true. And like, I mean, it's probably like mental health and sleep are like, number one,
Hmm.
number two with a bullet in
Yeah.
terms of, and I mean, like, they're both intimately related, those two topics, I think, anyway, as far as I'm concerned, because, like, a good night's sleep really helps me massively. And like, I feel more insane whenever I'm on very little sleep, very loopy at a minimum.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's get, I have questions.
Okay, hit
So,
me.
all right. Um,
So
what is your,
actually,
yeah, no, go ahead.
oh no, okay, sorry. What I was going to kick off with was just time and place. How did you sleep last night?
I actually slept great.
Yeah, I slept okay. Not bad. I got about 7 hours, which is decent-ish for me. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I had a
So
hard time falling asleep, but
yeah,
I had like a little like half glass of wine and then laid back down and
nice.
yeah,
The
that
system
kicked.
works.
My system works. There's a system. So generally, what is your sleep like?
Um, I think it
Like,
would be worse if it wasn't for like antidepressants and things like that. I think that they're like such a
same,
reliable sleep aid.
same.
Um, I uh I yeah, I think whenever before I started taking them, I found that I was waking up in the middle of the night, and that was very common. And the problem with that is, and I am told then I researched a little bit more, and I'm told that you that's common as you age, your sleep patterns get more messed up. Waking up in the middle of the night is common. There's often but like the problem with that, especially when you're working a job or you've got a family, is that that's not really compatible with modern life, unfortunately.
That's true.
And it's like,
Do you
well,
ever do you ever wonder like what you like if you didn't have to be somewhere at any time or any place and you had no responsibilities, like what your sleep would look like and when you would actually sleep?
I do, and I like because part of me thinks you see, because I find that sometimes when I'm trying to sleep is the time whenever I'm firing with ideas, like I'm getting stuff and I'm like, that's quite good. Or if I like sometimes go to sleep and I start thinking about a story I'm working on, and I'm like, I'll just think about this because it'll, bring me down. And then I'm like, oh, that'll be a nice thing to do. That would be a nice bit story beat. That would be a nice kind of bit of dialogue. And I like get up and I'm on my iPad typing it in, which I'm getting better for that now at actually like putting it down. So I'm thinking that like probably if I wasn't beholden to a more standard sleeping pattern, I would probably be awake more at night. Though I think of myself as an early riser, so I'm really not sure what that's going to look like in the future.
Yeah, I think like I don't fall asleep and I don't stay asleep. So
Mm.
it's like usually it's one or the other, not both. Um, but I think if I didn't have responsibilities, if like everything just kind of like lifted away, I would probably sleep from like 2 to 6 or
Hmm.
7, and then again, I probably there's a I can't remember the term, but there's a term where you sleep for 4 hours for this part of the day and 4 hours for this part
I've
of the
heard,
day.
yes.
And I don't remember what it is in my brain garden, but that I think I'm an early riser and I'm also a night owl. So I think like I'm not diurnal like most people where it's like nighttime.
Yep.
Like my brain does not know nighttime is like when the sun goes down, that's your cue. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
pick up on cues. It's just like what?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I hear you. And I have friends who like sleep sickeningly well, like will sleep like 9 to 10 hours, and it's virtually impossible to wake them. And I'm like, oh, you kids,
Yeah, drives me crazy.
you don't know how good
Um,
you have it.
when did you start having sleep problems?
I think I have always been an early riser. I don't think I've ever slept particularly well. I have a memory, and like this speaks to my personality in so many ways. But like, I remember, I used to be such an early riser. I always have been. So like, on the weekends and stuff like that, there was a block of cartoons from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
You were that annoying child.
Yep. So
Your parents are like, ah.
I was up with like a massive bowl of cereal, just and like I would kind of be annoyed at myself if I woke past 7 a.m. because I'd missed the cartoon that I was looking forward to. And so it's just me watching TV for like 2 hours straight with a big bowl of cereal, nobody to bother me. It's the dream. So like from a young age, my sleep was kind of not great.
Yeah, I've never slept well. Like I
Hmm.
remember like crying before bedtime. Like bedtime was just the worst thing ever.
Just because you didn't want to
And
be away from your folks and stuff, or like,
I think I'm scared of the dark
okay,
still. I think it was just like fear of darkness and yeah, maybe like separation from my parents. But I remember like being little and crying and like both my parents would just like rub my back and say my name over and over and over again until I would finally fall asleep, just like in a puddle of tears, which is so sad.
yeah,
But it's like I was just born that way, I don't know why. And then I would like well, we'll get into that a little bit more, but it's I I basically slept on my parents' floor until like middle school.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I would drag my sleeping bag in and I'd just be like, I couldn't sleep by myself.
I
And so I would either sleep in their closet or I would like drag my sleeping bag in and just like put it at the bottom of their bed. And they'd be like, here you are again. Great.
I think like I definitely had those sorts of things, but it was more related to like leaving the house. Like I kind of, and I was so resistant to like going to school and stuff like that, and so like upset
Really?
about it. Yeah,
You didn't like
crazily
going to
so.
school?
Mm-mm. I I didn't mind it eventually, but I remember crying both, a lot, both kind of going to, well, I don't remember crying going to like nursery and primary school and stuff, but I'm told that I did. And I remember doing that even in high school when I was like 12, which is like,
Mhm.
you're supposed to be
I mean,
a big boy
it's
by then.
fine. I was
Yeah,
sleeping in
I
my
don't care.
parents' room. Oh no,
Yeah,
I was like 14.
yeah.
But I don't know, maybe it was related to school. So, okay, um, so I guess you kind of answered this, but like you're when you fall asleep, you're thinking about like positive things typically, or you like, or do
Hmm.
you,
It depends. I like so like because I've had to think about this so much, and obviously sleep is very important, and trying to get there is something I have made. Like I have had a lot of sort of systems in place to kind of get there. Um, I feel like I can sometimes notice when I'm struggling sleeping, I notice my heart racing, and I think I am better. I think yoga's really helped with this, at slowing my heartbeat down. I can't always get there, and sometimes I think I've achieved it, and then I realize that I'm just back thinking about whatever kind of crazy shit. So like, for example, after the night of the choir, I was just like so high, like euphoric, I guess, and I was just thinking about I was like happy that it went
okay,
well, and thinking about
pause,
that.
pause.
And oh,
So, you said you were euphor, oh, my internet. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, you pause, yeah. So let's just take a break real quick.
Okay.
Okay. So you were saying you were euphoric?
Yes, so like euphoric, I guess, thinking about the night of the show and being very excited about that, and interactions I have with people, and then also thinking about the things that I was looking forward to and being excited for that, and feeling like I'd kind of earned those things and stuff, and like thinking about seeing people and the fun that we were gonna have. And then I'm like, I notice it's like 1:30 or 2 a.m. and I'm like, okay, you've been running your through your this stuff in your mind for like an hour and a half now. It's time to like make an effort to kind of deal with this, so I can take a breath and take it down a wee step. I can sometimes help reduce my heart rate a little bit, by just breathing steadily and kind of thinking about that. I also, the technique I had, it doesn't always work, is imagining that you're lying in a canoe on a still lake and you're looking up and there's stars above you. And that is quite good for me. I have like a kind of a nerdy version of that where I imagine I'm in like a kind of a cryo sleep pod, and and like the pod's like sliding over me and I'm just like frozen to sleep. So
That's called
yeah.
propofol.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, 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 yeah. There's a guy comes up behind
There's
me
a
and puts a
guy,
cloth
right?
over my mouth. And I'm like, okay, thank God. It's sleepy time.
Chloroform.
Woo.
I wish that would happen.
I
That would be
know,
nice.
wouldn't it? I know. I want somebody to like
Hmm.
actually come up, just put a sleeper hold on me and just kind of
Yeah, yeah,
knock me
yeah.
out.
So a term that I hate is called sleep hygiene. Like, oh, let's work on your sleep hygiene. Do you have good sleep hygiene? So do you want to talk a little bit about like things that you've tried that have or haven't worked?
Um,
Or things that people have told you to try where you're just like, oh my God, like never mention this to me again
leave me
if you want to be
alone.
my friend. Uh-huh.
Because I have had some luck for a while. I think all of the sort of things that are recommended to me, I end up like defeating, I guess. That's a terrible way to think about it, but like my brain's like, oh, you're not gonna put me to sleep, asshole. So like is it Calm is the app? I remember using it for a while, and the sleep stories and stuff that I found good. But then like my brain, if the story I'm enjoying the story, will lock into it and be like, okay, I want to hear Matthew McConaughey's lovely voice telling me this the nice slow story about whatever. So I think that all, and also I have tried various kind of natural remedies and things like that, but they work sometimes. It's too scattershot. Nothing has consistently worked for me ever, really, I don't think. What about you?
I mean, I've tried, I've been to sleep specialists.
Hmm.
I've tried medications. I mean, it's like, Benadryl, chamomile tea, Tylenol PM, like that was like high school,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Um, which I know is unhealthy, but I wasn't sleeping. Like I have a diary where it's like I was 16 and I'm like, I'm not sleeping, I'm not sleeping. And then I think like life events, like my
Yeah.
dad's passing, that definitely like exacerbated it. So I went to a sleep specialist and they were like, start wearing your sunglasses at like 4 o'clock so that your
Yeah.
body starts to. So I was literally like at home wearing sunglasses in the house. And I tried that for 2 weeks and it didn't work at all, right?
But you were so cool for those 2 weeks.
I was so cool. I was so cool. It was so annoying. I couldn't like see anything and I
Yeah.
couldn't really like watch the TV or like um and then, tried not having electronics in the room. Tried different mattresses. At this point, like I wake up Mike, like for a while a symptom of my long COVID was restless legs, which
Hmm.
is so
Hmm.
fun. So my legs were itchy all the time,
Yeesh.
but that's gone away. But I was taking medication for that. And I now I'm yeah, and then we did a sleep study. I've done cortisol tests to see like if your my cortisol levels are normal for the time of day. Normally if they spike in the evening, then you have too much cortisol and that's why you can't sleep, but mine are
Hmm.
normal. So no one knows why. No one can figure out why.
Okay.
Um, and now I'm on an antidepressant that helps with sleep. So that helps. I have to take Ambien. And then
Yeah.
sometimes if I ruminate and
Hmm.
like what I think about while I fall asleep is like everyone dying that I love. Because
Wow.
that's normal,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Uh-huh.
That's where I go. That's where my brain goes. And
That's tough.
so yeah, so then sometimes I'll have to take like a Valium just to because my heart rate will like I'll start having a panic attack before bed. So fun.
It's like,
So yeah,
yeah,
and
that's so
I've done the
interesting.
meditation. I
Yes.
meditate, like I do transcendental meditation, all the things, but it's like not for me. And I think like I just have my neurological issues are so weird, and my chemical makeup is so different that
Yeah.
I need help, and that's in the form of medication. And it for a long time, I'm just talking now, but like
No, it's interesting.
I would have to miss work like
Hmm.
once a month at least. I would call in and be like, I didn't sleep last night and sorry, like it's been 4 days since I slept and I can't drive the car kind of
Yeah.
bad.
That's wow. Uh-huh. That's a
Uh-huh.
lot. That's a lot for anyone to
Uh-huh.
deal with.
Uh-huh. And now not working that full-time job, not working, um that's helped, I think, because I can nap. Like I texted you the other morning, I think, or I texted someone and there no, it was my friend who was here a couple weeks ago, and she's having sleep problems and she's like, how's your sleep? And I'm like, oh no, is it what it was you. You're like,
Yes.
I think our episode should be about sleep. And I'm like, that's great because I just woke up from my morning nap
Yes,
because I
that's
didn't
true.
sleep last night. So like sometimes I'll take the kids to school and I'll go back to bed and
Yeah.
hope that I can fall back asleep for a little bit.
It's yeah, it's so frustrating. And that yeah, that really sounds like a lot. And like I definitely think that it sounds like you have a lot. you have a tougher time with sleep than I have ever had, I think. Like I think my sleep has always been consistently not great, but at least I'm pretty sure I'll at least get 4 or 5 hours on even on a bad night of something. Like I'm fit for nothing the next day, but I will likely get that at least, you know. Um yeah, it's
Are you saying I win at not sleeping?
yeah, you win and not sleeping, I guess.
That's
Beth wins this episode in the
what
most
it's all
awful
about.
way, in the most awful way possible, and that she's not well rested enough. Uh, um, it's something I had wanted to ask you was, well, I mean, I have a few sort of dream related questions, but I guess my first question then is, do you dream?
Um, that is a really good question. Up until I started taking this medication, like 3 months, August was when I
Hmm.
started taking it. No, I hadn't really had, like, maybe once a year I would have a dream that I would remember.
Yeah.
And now I'm dreaming all the time.
Yes, that's my experience too. That's
Yeah,
nuts.
if I don't take the Ambien, then I'm having these like crazy dreams.
Yeah.
They're not always good.
Yeah. I hear you.
Uh, Usually they're not good. Like that dream I had about the royal family, or like,
Yeah.
like that, it's just weird stuff. And I used to have nice dreams where I would just sit and have conversations with people.
Nice. Hmm.
But then like once I hit my 20s, mid 20s, early 30s, like yeah, and I I just have to do a hard shutdown.
Yeah.
Um, but I have a question about dreams for you, but so what about you?
Yeah, it was just very much the same. I very rarely remember my dreams. There was one dream I had a variation of many times, and I can't remember it fully. All I remember, the bones of it, are where that Darth Vader was trying to steal my brain. Obviously, he was looking for some, something, a big, juicy, intelligent brain.
Right.
Targeted me. Uh, but I remember it being scary the first time I had it. And I remember having a variation on that for years. And then
So that was a recurring dream where
yeah.
Vader was coming to steal your juicy
Hmm.
brain.
I think
Wow.
I think again my memory of it's patchy now, but I feel like it was a version of that. I don't think it was always Darth Vader, but it was like somebody was coming to get me, or something like that. Um, but like I have in recent years, especially since the antidepressants and stuff like that, have had
Mhm.
really dream far more often. A kind of version of a dream that I have a lot is that I go to a place that I know and I get lost. And
Mm.
somebody gave me a translation for that. It's like basically I'm not like fulfilling maybe some of the creative stuff or some of the things that I want to do in my heart kind of thing.
Gotcha.
And I think there's certainly some truth to that. But they were always really quite distressing. But I think those dreams, because they became so common, I think having those in recent years are my first experience where I've kind of been aware I was dreaming in the dream. So that's my first kind of, I guess, lucid dream experience that
Where
I
you're like,
recall.
I'm having a dream
Yeah.
and maybe I can control it.
Yes, exactly. Oh, I have something I just need to get to before we move on. I was
Yeah.
reading recently about this company that is developing a piece of software or a something that you attach onto your head as you sleep that is designed to try to help you harness lucid dreaming. So get to do guess what? So you can work while you're dreaming. Wow, everything sucks. We live in a nightmare.
Everything sucks. That's
But it was
awful.
essentially designed for software engineers specifically so that they could harness their lucid dreams to maybe code in their sleep. And I'm like, this is horrifying. This is horrifying. So yeah, there we go.
I would like the 10-year study on that to see what those humans turn into.
I and like I cannot see that being a successful business. Do you know what I mean? It's just another sort of nightmare thing. But yeah, anyway. Um,
I I have I have the typical dream. This is a very I've had this my whole life. My teeth fell out.
oh yes, I've heard about that dream. Yeah,
Yeah.
is there a meaning for
It's
that?
basically like, yeah, you're nervous about something. I
Yeah.
think this is what with all bad dreams. It's like there's something off or something that you're not you're worried about something, or you don't feel like you have control over something. But I really am just afraid of my teeth falling out.
Yeah. I mean, that's a
Like
reasonable
all,
fear for anyone to have, really.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And like I have a small, like my gums are small, so they
Yeah.
had to pull five of my teeth for me to get braces because I had like
I
really
see.
bad teeth. And so I know what that feeling is like.
Oof.
And yeah, they didn't put me under for that. So it was just like
Oh,
I was in elementary school, so I still remember it was awful.
that's awful.
Anyways, so I
Yeah.
have that dream where either my teeth are loose and I can pull them out, or they're just like falling out themselves. And then I have this other reoccurring dream where I can't really, I have this phobia.
Mhm.
This is, it's called triophobia.
Oh, yes, I've heard of that.
Okay, so it's like it's like patterns that are disgusting to me.
Yeah.
Or like there will be images that will gross me out, and I'll see those things in my dreams and I'll just be like, ugh. Like we got this is super messed up, but like, those little like crackers that you get that have the holes in them, we got a set of crackers and the holes were extra big. And I was
Hmm.
like, I can't eat these. I was so mad. And
How
like,
interesting.
and I saw a photo, and like I'll dream about like crackers with big holes, right? And be horrified. And like I saw a photo of, have you ever seen a strawberry where the seeds are sprouting?
I have. Yeah, yeah.
That is my horror.
Yeah, okay. I can get that. Yeah. Because they
So
feel
in my
kind
dream,
of
it'll be like, "Ugh, so gross, it's so gross."
they feel kind of unreal or like I don't know, mutated or something.
What do
Yeah,
you mean they sprout seed? Like the
yeah.
seeds actually like do something. Oh,
Uh,
oh,
because my
oh.
parents used to have strawberry plants in the back garden, so yeah, you would sometimes see them and they were like, "Whoa, whoa, what's happening?" Yeah, that's
It's
not chill.
not, yeah. So I have dreams like that, which is super weird.
Have you ever had a lucid dream?
Yes.
Uh, how
Yes.
was that, or is that something you remember?
Mm, it's fine. It's usually I'm having conversations with people,
Yeah. Okay.
but it's not necessarily people I want to have a conversation with.
I understand.
Yeah. And then I'm like stuck there,
Yes.
and I can't be like, I gotta go. Or, it's like I'm stuck there sitting with them having a
Yeah.
conversation. And it's just like sometimes it's awkward. Um, and I just don't want to be there.
Yeah. 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 I
But I'm
yeah.
aware
The
that I'm there, and I'm aware it's a dream, and I'm aware that like I'm not actually talking to this
I
person, but I haven't figured out how to just be like, because I can't say no to anyone,
yeah.
then I really can't say no in my
Yeah.
dreams.
I think that like we're the same. And like it's also you're kind of like, well, I need to be polite. I can't
Yeah,
just leave this person, even if it's a
yeah,
dream. Yeah.
yeah, exactly,
I totally
exactly.
understand.
Yeah. So, have you ever have you ever seen a monster?
In my dream,
No, I mean in real life. Like when you were a
um,
kid and you were like, is there like
oh
were you
yeah, like
ever
sleep paralysis
afraid?
sort of thing. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
or I see what you're saying. I don't think so. No. Not that I can recall, and I'm sure that would be a memory that would stay with me. So no, like, and it's surprising to me because I'm so interested in those things, like such an X-Files kid when I was younger and
Oh,
all that sort of
totally.
stuff. So like
Totally.
I'm surprised I didn't. And like I remember having like books and like UFOs and also paranormal occurrences like spontaneous combustion and things like that. So I think I wanted it, but it never
Did
happened.
you ever see those photos?
Of like
Like
the people
of the
burnt in
spontaneous,
chairs and stuff. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, I
yeah.
have.
And like
Yeah, they were nuts.
they're bot, yeah,
Like
yeah.
just like a pair of slippers just lying at the bottom of the chairs and these like ashes everywhere. And it's like,
And it's
whoa.
like it's like the bot, you can see the like
Yeah.
the outline of the body, but it's all like burnt
Yeah. Well,
and they're just gone. So weird.
grim. What about
Yeah,
you? Did you?
I did.
Hmm.
I think this is like I still think that there's a monster under the bed.
Okay.
I'm
Fair enough.
44.
I mean, who
I'm
knows?
44.
Anything's
Yeah.
possible as far as I'm concerned.
Like I still get that feeling of like it's dark, the lights are out, Mike's already in bed, it's just me up,
Yeah.
and then I have to like jump into bed as fast as I can.
Yeah.
because it'll get me. But I remember like our house in Kentucky, like looking out the doorway and like something would just walk by, and my parents were in bed. It wasn't, my sister was asleep in the top bunk, but it would like walk by the doorway. And then I
Uh,
remember she moved into the playroom. So I was in my room by myself, and I remember
hmm
something standing at the end of my bed. Yeah.
How old would you have been at the time?
Probably like 5, 6, 7.
Okay. Okay.
And
Yeah.
then once we left Kentucky, I never saw anything in my room again. We also
Yeah.
live next door to a graveyard, so who freaking knows,
Yeah, it's true.
Um, and I'm just like sensitive to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I read about it, and it's like they're I don't it's they call it like a phenomenon where, kids will see it's like people, you can go to Reddit and like people will be like, oh yeah, something like it was like this big figure, this is what it looked
Yeah.
like. And I'm like, oh my God, that's what I saw. Other people like it'll actually sit on their bed. So yeah.
No thanks.
I know. And I think I've said this before, like the kids are like, I'm scared of monsters. And I'm like, what do I say? Like, I
Yeah,
can't be like, I'm like, yeah, sucks.
yeah,
Sucks.
yeah, don't worry
Sorry.
about it. Yeah, like they're probably benevolent monsters, who knows?
Me too, kid. Me
Yeah,
too.
yeah, exactly. Let me tell you about the real monsters, humans.
Right. That's
Uh,
also true.
I mean, and I think whenever I have seen, and I think this is why I've never been a big fan of horror movies in particular. I remember seeing Hellraiser as a kid when I was far too young, and it really messed me up. I did not like it at all. And
Is that the guy
um,
with the
yeah, Pinhead, yeah,
pinhead?
and the whatever the hell they're called, demons. Again,
Yeah.
somebody screaming at us, and I think though as this went on, and I've got more attachment with horror movies, and I've seen more and kind of know the stuff in that genre that's interesting to me. Like certain psychological ones have really stuck with me and like have had me like even into my adult life have I've been like I am all the lights are on the house until I go to bed. Yeah, I need Sasha there to protect me, obviously. I mean like she would protect me. She would like
Should
go
be
over
like,
and oh hey,
hey,
hey monster, hey friend.
Hellraiser.
I mean getting the monster to rubber butt or whatever,
Vote
probably.
for me, vote for
Yeah,
me.
yeah. Hey, give me a treat, give me a treat. So like but like things like I remember like Babadook and It Follows and things like
Mm,
that in recent years just really kind of because and they're also kind of psychological as well and they're about other themes and stuff that are kind of hard hitting. But yeah, it's definitely all things that help with sleep anyway, going to see horror
yeah.
movies.
For me, the one that got me as a kid was Pet Cemetery.
I've never seen it. I don't think I'd want to.
Don't,
No.
don't. It's like it's like the kid comes back from the dead. They're like logging trucks. The kid gets hit by a logging truck, and then they realize like they buried the cat. And I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but it was
Yeah.
so. I'd already read the book,
Yeah.
probably, right? I read something the other day. This is off topic, but like the problem with Gen X is that we all read Stephen King too early in life.
That makes sense. Yeah,
I
yeah,
know,
yeah.
but it's like, yeah. And then I think I saw the movie. It was like I don't know. I must have been in middle
Uh-huh.
school, and I couldn't. I just can't. It's still like I will never watch that movie again. It was so scary. I've read the book probably 4 or 5 times since,
Yeah.
but so scary. I can watch a horror movie. I can't do it by myself,
Yeah. Uh,
but like I'll watch. I love horror.
yeah, I think and I've come to
Can't
appreciate
I
it
like
more.
campy horror is like
Yeah.
more my jam, but I like psychological horror and I
You
like
like
murder.
a Hereditary or something like that or
That was weird.
yeah,
Is that
that's a
the same
weird
director
movie.
that did Mother?
Yeah. No, no, I think he did. If I'm right, it's Ari Aster. He also did Midsummer
Oh,
and
oh, that was, yeah, I saw that one too.
it's also freaky. And Beau is Afraid, which is an insane. That is
I haven't watched that one yet.
I don't know that I'd recommend that movie. It is like a
These are all
waking
like movies
nightmare.
Mike would hate.
Yes. Oh, I think Who Was Afraid is a movie that most reasonable people would hate. Though I think as an experience, I it's there's nothing else like it. I'm glad I saw it, but I don't know that I could ever recommend it to somebody.
I'm gonna watch it just because,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
you
liked.
will you will love some of the stuff in it, I think, but it's
Okay,
insane. It is like a waking nightmare. It's kind of I don't want to spoil it, but yeah,
it's fine. No, I'll
it's
watch
interesting.
it and then I'll
Yeah.
blame you
Yeah.
for whatever I feel.
Mike's furious with me.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Andy told me to watch this. He's like,
I
what
did,
the
I did.
fuck?
Uh,
Um, so I would say if you, okay, I have something I want to read.
okay,
So I love folklore.
sure.
Um, and you ever hear the term the witching hour?
I have. Hmm.
Okay. So like the witching hours between like usually like 2 and 4, like 3 a.m.,
Yeah.
you know? So in folklore, the witching hour or the devil's hour is the time of the night that is associated with supernatural events, where things are thought to be at their most powerful.
Hmm.
Ah.
Scary.
So, and that's usually that is when I wake up.
Yeah. I like with stuff like that, and I'm sure plenty of people will be cynical and whatnot, is
Uh-huh.
that, and the more I learn about stuff, the, limits to what we know as humans about the world and existence and everything. We know a fraction of it, a tiny fraction of it. So who knows? Do you know what I mean? Like, and I love, concepts of these, in stories and stuff like that, where, the kind of wall between us and the supernatural gets thinner at certain times of the day. And it's like, and who knows, right? We have literally no idea, So
What do they call it? The veil
yeah,
between the things. And yeah, certain times of day, certain times of year, that veil is thinner.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I believe in that. I believe in the fact that I know nothing.
That's exactly it. And that's the important thing that everybody should believe is that fuck all.
Right.
We all know fuck all.
We all know
And
fuck all.
and just get comfortable with that because it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. And like
Um,
the older I get, the more I realize the less I know
yeah,
or that I know
exactly.
nothing.
Exactly. And it's
Yeah.
okay to live in that.
Yeah.
I think it's just people who seem to think that they've got stuff figured out that are getting the
Yeah.
most trouble in my experience.
I'm gonna send them a box of strawberries that are going to
Yeah,
seed.
yeah, 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 yeah. So one of the things that I wanted to ask you was, because like I wonder whether you have the same experience with this as me because of my relationship with sleep. I have in my memory, in my lifetime, various nights of sleep that were so incredible that I will remember them forever. Do you have nights of sleep like that?
I
And
do.
do you have any good examples?
I do. I have a really good one. My favorite one
Uh-huh.
um was Christmas Eve. I
Hmm.
think I was 7,
Hmm.
and I remember closing my eyes and opening them, and I had right to sleep, and I woke up and it was Christmas morning
Oh,
already.
amazing.
So I didn't have to wait at all. It was just like close my eyes, open them.
Oh,
Oh my God, I'm already there. Like Christmas is already here.
that's a dream.
It was so wonderful.
Yeah, that's
It was
very
so
nice.
wonderful. So yeah,
Uh,
I would say that's my top one.
I do remember that it has, bro. I have three.
Okay.
That you just reminded me of another one. I remember getting on a flight one time and it was like after a
Ugh.
number of different flights. I remember putting my belt on and I remember waking up and we were landing and I was like, yeah, this is incredible. It wasn't like a long flight, it was like 2 or 3 hours, but still it was pretty fantastic. Um, the other one was or I've got two others that are so one was whenever I was doing my Amtrak journey around the US. I as far as I recall, we stayed in a hostel that was in the Presidio. So
Mhm.
like the Presidio is like the old military base. So I'm sure you know where it is. This old military base in like San Francisco, and there was this massive hall with like loads of bunks in it. And we had been traveling a lot. We hadn't had a ton of sleep. And I remember like my friend was going out to do something. I was like, I'm just gonna, go for a nap. And I remember like I think I slept for like 12 hours. I woke up and I was like, I can do anything. I'm so well rested. And I still remember how incredible I felt from that night of sleep. Um, the last one that really sticks in my head is, and it's why I still love hammocks to this day, is that like whenever I was in Thailand, there was a lot of like not only the accommodation that we stayed in had hammocks outside. And I remember like in being in the jungle and just listening to all the jungly noises and just getting into this hammock, close my eyes and like sleep. It was more of a nap than a sleep again, but it was like just so restful and just and I was just woke up feeling incredible. It was so nice.
I have a photo of you from Portugal when we went surfing and you found
Hmm.
a hammock and then you were just like,
Oh yeah, I did. I fell asleep in that
and
hammock
I was
as
like,
well.
I'm taking a picture of this, and
Yeah,
you're snoring, and then you had like a little sunburn on like the one part, the sun
I have.
that you got hit with.
Yes, I did. I got really burnt then. I was so stupid. I There are quite a few photos of me on hammocks actually, because like there is like probably the most ridiculous one when I was in Australia, and then for reason unknown for well, because I was there with some of my friends and we were just being idiots. We tore the sleeves off all our t-shirts for that trip. I at that point had grown my beard really long, had really long hair, and I just decided I was gonna like so I took a razor and just like cut down so the cheeks just before my cheeks kind of hit my lips, sort of took a razor down both sides of there. So I had these like big mutton chop sideburns, this big mustache, and I was wearing my like gold aviators. It's the most ridiculous photo ever, and we need to use it to promote this episode. I'll find it for
Okay.
you.
Okay. So,
Uh-huh.
showing your, we call them guns, your arms,
Yes.
showing your big gun.
Yeah, exactly.
So, if you could wish one thing about your sleep, what would it be?
I mean, I would like it to be more consistent. That's it. I don't even need, 8 hours every night. I would just like it. I would like it to be a bit more reliable,
Hmm. Hmm.
because there's things I want to do day after day, and then um, if I'm not well rested, I don't do them, and I get caught in this, spiral of being angry I can't do them, and angry that I didn't sleep, and then and round we go.
And around we go. Yeah, I totally understand that. I would say like I think this is the thing I dislike most about myself,
Hmm.
that I can't sleep.
Yeah,
And
that's
the
frustrating.
impact it has, and the fact that I have to take medicine for it.
Yeah,
For a long time I was embarrassed about it. Like dating someone, like when Mike and I first started dating, and I'm just like, I don't like trying to like explain this to someone.
yeah,
And like now our bed, it's a king size, but it's two twin mattresses that are pushed together
yeah.
because I move so much and I'm up and down all night.
Hmm.
And he's like, I have to sleep. Like, and he keeps threatening. He's like, at some point, we're getting twin mattresses and they're going to be separated. And I'm like, no,
Oh, yeah,
we'll just put the cuddle pillow in between and I won't
exactly.
like come after you. I promise. But like, one of the things, because he doesn't like to cuddle, but like one of the things
Hmm.
that helps me fall asleep is like, if he's the little spoon and I'm the big spoon,
Hmm.
and then I shove my arm basically in his armpit.
Or Mike.
And that
Uh,
that is the thing that will calm me down and put me to sleep. I'm like, for the first couple years, he was like, okay, fine.
yeah,
Then after that, he was just like, no, this is
no,
not
this isn't
working
working
for
for me.
me at
I need to
all.
sleep too.
So, um, so yeah, I now that I'm on antidepressants, I'm less upset about it, and
Yeah,
that like it's become less of like like the constant like
yeah, yeah, yeah. A cycle of anger.
irritation,
Yep.
yeah, all the time. Didn't get this, yeah, like because of this, X, Y, and Z now can't happen.
Yeah.
And like,
Yes.
and then trying to rage nap never works,
Yeah.
right?
Just crossing your arms, gritting your teeth, and going sleep, sleep now. Yeah.
And it just, yeah, that just doesn't work at all.
No.
So, yeah, I don't even want listeners to give us tips and tricks because we've probably tried them all. But maybe,
Yeah, yeah. If you have any, or
yeah,
home
well,
remedies,
whatever.
or
Yeah,
some really sweet drugs you could send us.
basically, please.
Just class A shit. Uh,
Yeah. Or, maybe I just wonder if we're a world that is full of insomniacs and like why that is because I,
yeah,
I think
yeah.
I mean Mike, he'll lay down and wake up in the same position.
Wow, incredible. I can't do that at all. I definitely move around a lot in my sleep. I roll. Like even getting comfortable to even try to get to sleep is a process for me, you know.
What's your
Yeah.
sleep routine?
What do you mean? Like,
Like, do you have a cup of tea and then you get your jammies on and then you read a book or do you
um,
what
oh,
check
that's a good
your
question.
yeah.
I suppose I do like to read before I go to sleep. It's a curse. I think that what I mentioned earlier was I'm getting inspired at night. I think I need to start keeping a pen and paper beside my bed instead because the iPad is a curse because I prefer to read if possible, to go to sleep. But like, so ordinarily I try to like give myself about half an hour before I actually need to get to sleep so I can read my book or something, you know. But it doesn't always work that way. And then I have iPad and I'm like on Reddit for half an hour instead and reading Am I the Asshole posts, which do not help me go to sleep.
That's so funny.
But then of course I put on my Victorian sleeping gown and sleeping cap and I blow out my candle and I go to sleep. Oh, the Americans are gonna love this best.
I know they
This is
are.
exactly what they expect from me.
My dad actually had one of those.
Oh,
He was
amazing.
like,
Oh,
he was
so
like the
good.
same one that Benjamin Franklin had.
Oh, oh,
Like, okay,
incredible.
I know. And he wore it for a
Do
while.
you do you have a sleeping routine?
Yeah, like we'll have a cup of tea, like get the kids in bed, and then sometimes we'll like watch a show or read a book, and the dog will be in the bed, and
Nice.
then we'll drink our tea, and then I usually take my medication like an hour to an hour and a half before I need to be asleep, because it takes,
Hmm.
and then if it doesn't kick in, then I'll have a glass of wine, and I know that's not, you're not supposed to do that, but you know what? I need to
If it
effing
works for
sleep.
you, yeah.
Mhm. So I'll have like a half a glass of wine and then lay down and then uh try and rage sleep.
Yeah.
It's great.
Which always
And
works.
then if that doesn't work, then I'll get my phone out and I will read advice columns.
Yeah, perfect.
And then usually that will put me to sleep.
Nice. Um, yeah, it's I was reading some advice columns today. They always make me feel better about myself.
I
So I'm
know,
like,
I know.
oh, okay, I'm not that messed up. Is this is a relief.
I'm
Um,
still laughing about the guy that's like upset about people not eating birthday cake.
oh, so good. I must send you that one. So funny. The Yeah, so you're talking about starving in bed. Like so Sasha, especially in the colder months, hops in my bed. My bed's a wee bit high for her, so she can't really be arsed making the effort a lot of the time. But
You can get
whenever
her
it's,
doggies, you can get her
I
little
know
doggy
I should get her doggy
stairs.
stairs. But here's the
Yeah.
thing: she doesn't stay for long, and like especially because I move around for so much. Like oftentimes, by the time I'm reading my book, she will already be snoring like upside down snoring on the bed. And then like when I am ready for sleep, I'm moving around so much. It's like for fuck's sake. And then just like clambers
She
off the
gets
bed because she's
irritated.
tired by my shit. And I'm like, oh, sorry, darling. But what can you do?
What can you
I mean,
do?
it's reasonable to be annoyed at that. I mean, she needs her sleep too, you know.
She does.
She
And
does.
it's irritating. I get it. I get it.
Yep,
Like we're irritated about it too. So
exactly. But then she also gets to sleep all the time. She gets to sleep all
they
day
can
long.
sleep.
Dogs are freaking excellent sleepers. If only we
I
could.
like what next lifetime I want to come back as like
Oh,
a dog and
me
just
too.
have the best owners and be like fed treats and nap and just
Yep.
sleep.
Yep. Amazing.
Hmm.
Well, I
Do you have
think
any
we
other
are.
questions?
I
Yeah, I
don't
think we're
think
yeah.
so.
You
We're starting
complain
to
about anything
get.
else?
Do I want to complain about everything else? I should. I'm gonna get the list out. The
All
list,
right.
the list of things I want to complain about.
No, this is
No,
joy time. This is
it
joy
is. It's joy
corner.
time.
Joy time.
I have nothing else left to complain about. Okay, so I guess so. Yeah, I do have a thing. So, I was able to go down after not having the opportunity because I've been so busy for months now to go down and see some good friends over the past weekend. Um, I love it. I really need to tell them this. But like it is my wee oasis, especially over COVID and stuff like that. Being able to go down and visit them, spend time with them, and their son was fantastic because they both love playing board games. So like at one period of the weekend, I set my phone down somewhere. I didn't know where it was, and I was like, and we just ended up playing like board games for like 4 or 5 hours in the evening, and I was like, this is just what I needed. I needed to completely disconnect, spend time with people whose company I love,
Mm,
and it was just what I needed, and it was very lovely. So that's been bringing me joy this week.
that sounds fabulous.
It was.
Um, and I'm editing the last week's episode where we bitch about phones.
Hmm.
And I- so yeah,
What
shaking my fist at that.
exactly? What's been bringing you joy this past week?
I'm reading The Princess Bride.
Ooh,
Have you read it?
I have not.
Please read it. It's
Okay,
one of the best books I've ever read.
okay.
Uh, it's so much better than like the movie. I'm sorry, everyone. It is so much better than the movie, and the movie is one of my favorite things ever. The book is so funny.
Can I be honest with you? I don't think I knew. No, I was gonna say I don't think I knew that it was a book until you said it there. But I've just done looked it up and I see the cover and I'm like, actually, that looks familiar. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So it's William Goldman, and he did a bunch of movies and like he wrote screenplays and
yeah, I recognize his
he
name. Yeah,
yeah, so but he wrote this amazing book, and like there's so much more in the book than in the movie, and like he's also like narrating his writing of the book, so he'll be like, okay, we're taking a break from The Princess
I
Bride,
like
and like
that. I
here's
like that.
it's me now, right? And it's
Yeah,
so funny, so it's like you're like going through his life with him as he's writing this, and it's just like I'm reading the funny parts, the good parts, right, to the kids, but then
yeah.
I'm reading, the more adult, because it's an adult book. And it's great. And I'm
I
actually reading a paper book, which always makes me feel
yeah,
like I'm hearkening back to the good times.
yeah. I hear you. I try to these days as much as possible, mix between the two, but easier said than done sometimes.
It's true.
Yeah, I think yeah, I definitely will enjoy, and I love that sort of. I know what I was going to say was the that idea of the sort of untraditional narratives in books, like them really taking a step back and doing like like also in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and things like
Yeah,
that, where it's just
yeah.
like there'll be a chapter and how it's written and how it's kind of put together is just unlike anything you've read before. It's
It's,
always lovely.
yeah,
So
that
that's
is this, and I highly recommend
oh,
it
okay, okay,
to
and
you and to our listeners.
we're drinking immediately.
Yeah, and I think he passed away in like 2022, and I was
Oh,
sad,
okay,
or
big.
maybe before that. But yeah, I just adore his style. So
Oh, lovely.
give him a read.
Yeah, everybody as
So
well.
get send those
Not just
royalties
Andy.
somewhere,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So
But yeah,
yeah,
I think we're coming to the end of this week's episode. So folks, as always, we would like to remind you to stay
stay
bendy. Yeah, we killed it.
bendy. I'm still going.
1 hour. We
I think
love
I took a
you.
breath. Love you. Bye
What a
bye
cheat. Bye, bye, bye.
bye.
All right, good
I'm
stuff.
gonna cheat. Yeah. Okay.
It's good.
Oh
Good.
my God, the book is
Good
so
subject.
fucking good. It's
Yeah.
so yeah.
I've
Yeah.
literally, I think, yeah, I've ordered already.
Okay. Okay, so I've got how do
Yeah, I
I
recognize his name. I'm trying to think what from.
a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I like it has some movies and stuff like that. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Okay, so American novelist and playwright, Princess Bride, Marathon Man,
Yes. Hmm.
Heat.
Oh, All the President's Men and stuff like that. Wow.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Like
okay.
really, really, really one of the best. Okay, so I may export before I lose this.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, some really interesting stuff. Oh, right. I might have to go shortly because I've been holding in a pee for like
No, you're fine.
20 minutes. Right.
So I'm not going to talk to you next week, right?
Yes. We're not speaking
You'll be in
until
Scotland.
2nd of
Hmm.
January. Yeah.
Hmm. Mhm.
Have an amazing time.
I will. I mean,
All you say.
yeah, I'll send
I'll be
you
in
a
touch with you
message.
anyway. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Because I'm annoying like that. Okay, go pee.
All
I
right.
love
Okay.
you.
I love you.
All
Talk
right.
soon. Bye. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.